Hey guys, Josh up here with an updated 3 minutes champion guide for Elise Jungle. I did one of these in Season 4 and now we're bringing you one for Season 5. As always guys, feel free to tweet at me at FoxShopLol with suggestions on what champions I should do guides on in the future, and if you have any questions about this guide or Elise in general, feel free to leave those in the comments and I'll try to get around to answering them. So getting straight on with the guide, Elise is always a solid choice in solo queue. She's very good at pressuring both the enemy laners and the enemy junglers with her crazy early game power. She can be played as an AP assassin or a more tanky AP hybrid skirmisher, depending on how you like to go about things. Here are the runes, masteries and skill order I use on Elise in order to suck out the innards of my opponents in true spider style. For item builds you have some decisions to make depending on how you want to play. Firstly, you should choose between Magus or Cinderhulk as your jungle enchant, depending on whether you want that early game damage or not. After that, you want to decide if you want to pick up the early AP items to give you a little bit of a boost. Usually this takes a form in the Haunting Guise or Sorcerer's Shoes, the magic pen items of course being very good on Elise because her AP scalings aren't so strong, but she does do a lot of magic damage. But I would only suggest you get these extra items if you are ahead early. And lastly, you'll want to either dedicate to the heavy damage build or play more of a team oriented style with tankiness, or of course going somewhere in between those two. All of these choices you're seeing on the screen now are good pickups depending on what you want to do. For your early game strategies on Elise Jungle, you should be taking advantage of her crazy early game power. Her level 3 damage is arguably unbeatable, especially if she lands that cocoon. Try to close the gap in spider form first and only fire that cum shot when you're close or the enemy has used their escape so you don't miss it. Counter jungling and invading is also a great idea on Elise as she takes camps with ease and is about as afraid of enemy junglers as a honey badger is of, well, anything. In the mid game you should find yourself more often than not with a lead over your opponents simply due to your crazy strong early game. Keep looking for those small fights as this is where Elise excels. The easier she can drop into those squishy enemies uncontested, the better. Keep your eyes peeled for opportunities to lane gank or counter gank as Elise revels in the elements of surprise and chaos like water revels in the elements of hydrogen and oxygen. Later on, Elise's direct impact falls off slightly as you would expect with such a strong early game champion, and she needs to be extra opportunistic in order to make plays. Team fights are much more common now, and despite not being one of her strengths, she can handle herself just fine. Look for moments to dive in onto the squishies in the backline when they're vulnerable, and if you're tanky, you can simply disrupt the enemy team and soak up as much damage and CC as possible. Anyway, that's all I want to say for this guide. I've actually done a full gameplay before, so I'll link to that in the description where you can watch Elise in action. Like I say, if you want to suggest champions for future guides, hit me up on Twitter, which is at FoxShopLol. Again, that'll be in the description, but most importantly, thank you so much for watching this video guys. I hope you have a great day and I will see you in my next video.